Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we're going to be going over where I think Juan Soto will end up being traded. So, the Nationals are willing to trade Soto after last week he rejected their huge contract extension, and the race for Juan Soto is reportedly down to 4 teams: the Padres, Dodgers, Rangers, and Cardinals. There's probably other teams, as I'm sure everyone's interested in Soto, but those are the 4 most likely landing spots for Soto. And I also would have thought the Mariners, but before they traded for Luis Castillo. But now after they traded for him, they gave away a few of their top prospects. So I don't know if they still have enough prospects, like good prospects, to give to the Nationals for Juan Soto. So starting off with the Rangers, we're going to go over the case for each team. Then you're going to hear, I'm going to rank them in order of most likely to least likely and where I think Soto will end up. So the Rangers, they kind of came out of nowhere. They just signed 2 players this offseason to huge contracts. Corey Seager, 10 years, $325 million. And Marcus Semien, smaller contract, but still pretty big. 7 years, $175 million. And then again, they're still going to have to pay Soto. So I don't expect Soto to be a Ranger. They kind of came out of nowhere for me. I was never really thinking the Rangers would be a huge player in this. So the case for the Dodgers, the case against them is they just traded some of their top prospects to the Nationals to get Max Scherzer and Trey Turner. They also have one of the 2 highest payrolls in baseball, and they're going to have some players they want to re-sign this offseason. Like, I'm sure they're going to want to bring back Trey Turner, who's in line for a big contract. They may want to re-sign Clayton Kershaw and potentially Justin Turner and Max Muncy, as they both have club options. So the Dodgers seem to want everyone. I think Soto would be good there. But I think the race is really down to 2 teams, and that is the Cardinals and Padres. So first, the Padres, they have prospects like C.J. Abrams and Mackenzie Gore, who could be very, very valuable trade assets for a trade for Soto. Plus, the Padres have other players they could put in a trade with Abrams and Gore. But the main drawback for the Padres is they're already giving 2 players over $300 million in Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado. And obviously Soto's would be well over $300 million and maybe even be closer to $400 or $500 million. And the final team of those 4 I named before is the Cardinals. They have 2 great prospects, Jordan Walker and Mason Wynn, as well as several others they could package together to get Soto. And they already have some good players like Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, Tyler O'Neill, Harrison Bader. And they're either signed through the future or they're eligible for arbitration, so they don't have to worry about re-signing them for a few years. And yes, Arenado is signed to a big contract, $260 million. Goldschmidt is signed to a much smaller contract, $130 million, but that's still a big contract. That adds up to $390 million, whereas the entire contract of Fernando Tatis Jr. is $340 million. So if the Cardinals offer Soto an extension after they get him, they are paying players, yes, but they're not already over the luxury tax, and 2, no one's getting paid a hideous amount of money. But the only downside to the Cardinals trading for Soto is they already have a complete outfield with Tyler O'Neill in left field, Harrison Bader in center field, and Dylan Carlson in right field. So where do I think Soto will end up? I think there's a possibility Soto isn't traded at all, but at this point, I really think it's a guarantee he's going to end up on a new team come August 3rd, which is the day after the trade deadline. So I think Juan Soto will be a Cardinal because, as I mentioned before, they aren't over the luxury tax. They have the money to do so. They have the good prospects to do so. They're not in need of signing any of their key players, as they're either signed through the future, like Arenado, Goldschmidt, Bader, players like that, or arbitration eligible like Tyler O'Neill. It just makes too much sense for the Cardinals. And what I said about being the downside, they have a complete outfield. I would think you would give back Carlson to the Nationals in the trade, as well as several prospects. So And if you're thinking, well, why would a team have to re-sign Soto? Is because, yes, you're still going to have 2.5 years of him. I see your point. He's one of the best players in baseball, and he's going to help any team. But if a team doesn't have enough money to re-sign him, and they're going to give up a ton of prospects to get him, I don't think getting Soto for only 2.5 years makes sense. I would want to lock him up for the next 15 to 20 years and ensure he's on my team. Because otherwise you're doing, like, you're guaranteeing yourself success now, but then your future will be very, very dark. So I think Juan Soto will be a St. Louis Cardinal on August 3rd. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Where will Juan Soto end up? Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. I do my best to post as often as possible, and I will see you in the next video.